Welcome back to the Project Management Fundamental course. In this module, we will continue with looking at the project management methodologies. So what are project management methodologies? So it's simply a system of principles and techniques and procedure used by those who work in a discipline. In other words, if you work in the project management discipline, you need to be aware of the different methodologies or principles that are being used in that field of study to be able to manage or do or execute your role in an organization or wherever you choose to use them. So there are several types of methodologies when we talk about project management. Also, they can be called frameworks. And these are based on things like what are the themes. They could be based on a certain theme or philosophy. It could also be based on some principles, some processes, and standard. So based on these four things, the theme, the principles, the processes, and standard, there are a number of them which cuts across this aspect. One example is the lean, which is finding efficiency in production processes. And that is the theme in which on which it is based on. And if you look at the agile, which is also another example, that is regarded as a principle, or what some people would say the mindset, the way you look at things when managing project. So it's not really a tool or something physically, but it's a way of looking at managing projects. And there are others like Prince2, which teaches both that are based on both certain themes or principles or methodology or processes, and something like the waterfall model, which is based on certain process that you follow. And you also have the PMI or the PMP, which is also based on processes, which is something we've looked at mostly in this course. There's extreme programming, there's Scrum, there's Scrum, and there is Kanban. So you have to, depending on the situation and the type of project, you have to employ a particular methodology to be able to manage your project. So in that sense, if you go further, there are many others like critical chain project management. There's the Six Sigma, there is the event chain, and there is also critical path method as well as extreme programming. Now, this is why project management is a versatile field. And depending on whether you're talking of quality management, where you employ Lean as well as Six Sigma, or if you talk about how you manage the way project team operates in the mindset that they can be efficient and follow certain principles, then you can bring in Agile or use Prince2. Or if you want them to be really strict on following certain processes that enables you achieve your goal, then you can use any of Scrum, Kanban, PMP, and the rest. So basically, this is what methodologies talk about. So some examples that we've talked about, like the Agile, says it provides flexibility and uses iterative design and build process. And in Kanban, tasks are represented visually on a board, and they allow the team members to see the state of every piece of the work. And on waterfall model, it's simply a framework that goes sequentially, going from one stage to another, which means you need to complete one before going to the next phase. So for example, you set your requirements for a project before you start designing whatever you need to design in that project. And then after the design, you start implementing the design, that is doing the actual, building the actual thing you need to build. And after that, you then test or verify, and later on you can maintain it. This can be different with Agile, where you start a project, instead of waiting to finish one big chunk, you finish a sub-module or part and you test and you integrate. and then you move to the next one, you test and you integrate. So milestones are defined at several points where there are little deliverables, which means it really requires a special mindset to be able to do that, and the team working in a way that they can manage that. So with Six Sigma, it's all about quality improvement, where you define the problem, you measure it, you analyze the problem, you find ways to improve it, and then you apply it and control the problem such that you don't see it again. And also, we talked about lean, where you look for waste in a production setting, mostly production lines, eliminate the waste, amplify the learning, or make sure that people understand why the waste happen, you know, decide what to do later on, deliver the solution as fast as possible, empower your team to be aware of what was done, and making sure it doesn't happen by optimizing the whole process. Again, depending on which aspect of project management you're in, you want to consider one or a combination of both. So this is what the methodologies are all about, and you can look more into each of these because they're all even a big subject on their own and can form a course of themselves on their own. Thank you.